Alright guys, this is the actual U-turn box. I know you can't see it too well, but I'm gonna walk the line anyway. Basically, you start all the way back here. What they do is they have all the bikes lined up on a line. There's no line here, but you know, they'll have someone out here with a cone or whatever. This is the first test. You line up for here. Now, I'm showing you this because this is what you need to practice when they have you practicing it. You need to get this. If you put your foot down, you fail. They'll let you do this portion of the course in gear 1 or gear 2. I would suggest you do it in gear 1 because there's a lot more, the bike handles a lot better in first gear. And the reason why I say that is gear 1 is like, first gear is like a utility gear. It gives you more play in the clutch, especially when you try and do tight corners and stuff like that. If you're in gear 2 trying to do a tight corner, I tend to see, actually I saw a lot of people having problems and the fucking bike shutting off for them and they putting their foot down, because gear 2 is, you know, between the friction zone and the cutoff zone is too short. You really can't do maneuvering like that. And when you do a U-turn, you should be in gear 1 or gear 2 if you're real good at it. I suggest you try gear 1. If it doesn't work for you after the first 2 times, then try gear 2. But on the day that you're practicing this, you need to figure out what gear you're going to do when you come in here. Now I'm going to show you how you take the actual U-turn. And normally when I start on this, I'm in first gear and I'm waiting. He'll tell me to go. I'll ease off on the clutch real quick, and then I'll approach. I'll approach the box, and I'll show y'all where I approach from. Let's see, okay, yeah, right here. I approach the line. You got to come in on the line. You got to come in slow. So brake early before you get in here, and let the bike take over. Now once you come inside, make sure you don't touch this line right here on the left. And you take this line all the way. Now I'm gonna stop right about here. These crazy people were actually starting their U-turn right here instead of using the entire box to take the turn. And most time that they did that, they had to put their foot down because they didn't have enough room. Now, what I suggest you do is use as much as the box as you can. So continue to keep going down. I mean, give yourself some time. Now lean into the turn like they taught you. Lean in, turn the bike, and then turn inside the turn like that. Take it all the way in. Now I'm gonna stop right here. Y'all see these 2 lines? There's one dotted line, then there's one straight line. The dotted line is is the first one you do during practice. That's the line they start you in. The solid line, that's the test line. Okay, so you need to get your stuff together before you do that test. I'm not gonna do a dotted line because dotted line is easy. The solid line is the line that counts. Now, a lot of the people who had 250 bikes had a problem with this exercise because the bike went a lot faster. The bigger the engine, the faster the bike is in first gear. It's that simple. I mean, unless you could tune it, but most of y'all probably know about that. Anyway, continue to turn, because you gotta do 2 U-turns in here. Then straighten your bike out. You don't have to press it on any gas. You don't have to actually do nothing. Just let the bike do the work for you. Just turn the bike. This portion of the test is about trust. You have to trust the bike to make the turn for you. If you don't, like I saw a lot of people, they put their foot down. All right, and once that, then you start the S turn, so you can do the left U-turn. Hit the line and do the same thing again. Come all the way down here. Make sure you don't touch the line. If you touch the line, you automatically fail that portion of the test. And start the turn right where the box is at. It gives you so much more space to do the turn. Start the turn. You see the line right there. Come in. And then boom, you got it done. Then what you can do is you can gear up. Now what they want you to do at this part is they want you to gear up to second gear. Gear shift up to second gear. Come on out of here. Then you're going to do the swerve portion. At the swerve portion, you're going to see a coach. He's going to be down there. He's going to be waiting for you with the cones. I do not see I don't have the cones. Try to buy the cones, but they didn't have the ones that the coaches use. So I'm going to go down here and show you the actual cones placement. So y'all can see. Yeah, they got the lines already out here. If y'all ain't got nothing to do, come here with your family and look at the lines or whatever. But yeah, normally that little green bar right there is where you swerve at. They'll have like something out there for you to swerve, and you can go whatever way you want to. And he's gonna tell you, make sure you look first. Well, actually, when you swerve, you have to look. You're not making a right turn, so I take that back. But figure out which way you're gonna go. Swerve, come to a complete control stop. Make sure your left foot comes down first. Make sure your left foot comes down first. Stop bike and look up at the coach. He'll tell you whether or not to go. You don't shut it off at that point. He just tell you when to go, and that's it. But that right there is a U-turn portion of the test. It is the portion of the test that most people fail because they run and get the 250cc bikes, or they don't pay attention to how to actually turn, or they don't trust their bike. And I have to admit, it took me 4 hours before I actually trusted that bike. I'm sorry, being on a couple of $1,000 bike and making a U-turn and watching the bike dip is kind of, it bothers me because I didn't want to pay for anything because I couldn't afford it. But, this is the U-turn box. Get a lot of practice on this. Now, I didn't need too much practice on this because I had a really slow bike, the 125cc, so I was fine. But I had problems with the quick stop, and that's what we're going to go to right now. We're going to go ahead and go to the quick stop in the next part.